Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Over here, we do things that are not aesthetically pleasing. We do not all have white walls in the background, and everything is not PG over here, okay? We keep it real. Right now, you guys are part of my FaceTime series where I just talk to you guys like we're on FaceTime, and I kind of just do what I have to do, and you guys just listen and kiki kaka with me. It's easier for me to get content out for you guys. It's easier for me because I only edit things like that are crazy, or like when the kids walks in here naked or something. But yeah, you get like the raw, authentic me. So where have I been? Okay, so in April, I found out some stuff that had happened in my life that was kind of crazy. So I had to do some things mentally to prepare myself for what was going to happen next in my life. So that meant, I'm just not even going to sugarcoat it. In April, I went to file for divorce, to get divorced or whatever. We were already legally separated, but I went to say like, no, I want a divorce. In the courts or whatever, it's saying that we are still legally separated, that one judge signed that we are legally separated, the other one said that we're divorced. I don't freaking know. So we currently don't know if we're divorced or not. And it's been a minute. We're now in what? June? We're in July. Beginning of July. We don't know if we're divorced or not. Which is whatever. I honestly don't even care at this point. What else has been going on? So that has been going on. So with that being said, I want to do this challenge. I saw this girl. She's a younger girl. She did this challenge on TikTok where she was like, come with me to save money for me to buy my house. And she would do like Instacart, DoorDash, you name it, she was doing it. Bringing canned bottles and all that other stuff. She was doing it. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do that because I want to save. Before, when I was married, I was saving for a home. Now that I'm divorced, married, whatever, separated, married, I want to save 6 months to get an apartment until I get on my feet or whatever. So I'm gonna start doing that. My dad has been, it's really funny. My dad has been trying to, excuse me, help me out. Like, he gives the kids allowance, but he also gives me allowance, so he'll give me like $40 a week. It's really funny, but like anything will help. Like at this point, I'm just trying to get it together. If you know, you watch my videos, I'm clearly on disability and I have seizures, and it prevents me from like working and doing things like that, like the average things that people do I can't do. But we're gonna get through this, okay? We're gonna get through this. But with that being said, today was one of those days where I was just like, I can't take it anymore. I can't even move. I slept for so long. I don't know if you could tell, but I got a little teary-eyed today because I'm just stressed out. Like, what is life? I literally just got a tummy tuck like a month ago, and I'm hurting so bad. After that month, or after I got a tummy tuck, I took my drain out by myself. I had 2 drains in my pelvic area. I took TMI. I took one of my drains out. The other one, I could not get it out. I'm like, why won't this thing come out? Went to the ER. They were like, oh, we can't help you take that out because we don't know if it's like attached to like your insides or whatever. And I'm like, just take the drain out, do an MRI, CAT scan, whatever. Let me just see if it's connected to something and I'll take it out myself. And they're like, we can't do that. Try this hospital. So I went to another hospital. The hospital was like, we can't take it out, but this plastic surgeon said he'll take it out for you. So I went to the plastic surgeon and he was like, where did you get the surgery? I was like, I went blah, blah, blah. He was like, they stitched your drain to your stomach. I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm tugging on it. As he's tugging on the drain, I could see like part of my stomach moving, tugging with it. He's like, yeah, they stitched it. And I'm like, oh my God. He was like, it's easy, 15-minute procedure. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just sit here and you just do it. He's like, no, we have to put you under. And I'm like, I have to go under again? Every time I go under, I freaking wake up during surgery. Like, I'll wake up with the tube still down my throat. He's like, no, that's normal for some procedures, whatever, for you to kind of wake up out of it. And I'm like, no, like, I'll be in it, and I'll wake up. He was like, oh, okay. So he made sure I didn't, like, wake up or whatever. But I had that procedure scheduled for a week. Now, the day before my procedure, Grayson was acting weird. He couldn't walk on his leg. His ankle was hurting. He was just kind of off. He had a fever. I was just like, something's not right. Sometimes you just know your kid and you just kind of like, okay, what's going on? That was Grayson. So I told Derek, I said, hey, bring Grace to the walk-in for me, because something's off. Derek doesn't listen, and he brought him to the emergency room, which ended up being probably the best thing that could have ever happened. So he brought him to the emergency room. They were in the emergency room for 5 hours. So Grayson does blood work. His blood work comes back horrible. So Derek's like, they are about to transfer us an ambulance to the children's hospital. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, do you want me to come pick you up? What do you want me to do? Because we have to go in the ambulance, and like, I don't know if you want me to pick you up, if you want me to follow you, like, whatever. I'm like, no, like, come pick me up. We don't need him to get in the ambulance or whatever, do all that stuff. Grayson has Bell's palsy. Dang it. My lip is gonna start drooping. The things that I freaking go through, bro, I swear. Hopefully it goes back to normal. And whatever, I just can't even right now. Anyways, his blood work showed that he had like a massive infection or something. His white blood cells. I don't know about all the blood cells and all that stuff, but his stuff was crazy. Come to find out, this boy has a bone infection. Okay? Bone infection. So I'm like, who gets bone infections? What is it? They're like, it's osteometalis. I'm like, okay. I'm on Google. Holy crap. Bone infection, amputee, damage to the bones, hospitalization. I'm going crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? So Grayson ends up getting admitted into the hospital. But while we're there, still during the day or whatever, he had to get sedated, and they had, let me go back, because this is crazy. So we're there at the hospital. Everyone's panicking because this is unheard of, right? Well, it's not unheard of, but it's, you don't see it every day. So they're like, we're gonna do an MRI on his ankle or whatever, his leg, because he's saying that's where it was hurting, and his fever was so high. So they were like, in order for us to do the MRI, we want to have the OR open, available just in case, because we might need to do MRI over to MRI and then to OR, and we want to do that because he'll still be sedated. We don't want to have to sedate him twice. And Grayson has autism, so it's a little challenging with him. So we're like, okay. So we get the OR booked, and then emergency comes in, so we can't do the MRI because the OR isn't available now. So then they're like, okay, the OR is available. Let's go downstairs. Let's get him ready, prepped and ready for the MRI. OR's not available again. So we're like, holy crap. Mind you, my son has not eaten all day. He's been in one hospital for 5 hours, this hospital for a long time. He just wants to eat. So they're like, don't let him have any food. They transport him back to his room because he was getting ready to get an MRI. Transport him back to his room, and he's saying he's hungry. I know you're not supposed to give your kid food or drinks or anything like that because they can aspirate and, you know, when they're sleeping, all the other things. But I'm like, this kid is hungry. It's about to go down if you don't eat. So I gave him a sip of a Pepsi and some ginger ale that I had. Okay, I was not listening. I'm like, I'd rather him, you know, get a pneumonia or something, but it's just like, in this moment, fine, fucking take the cookie and a sip of ginger ale. You'll be all right. So that was the thing. In the meantime, I'm texting my family because I'm freaking out. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm like, he's going to get sedated. He has infection in his bone. They're saying it's really bad. His fever won't go down. It's 101. It's 102. Point. My aunt, she's texting me on the side. Her name is Molly. She's a nurse or whatever. She's like, hey, what is going on? Tell me his stats. Tell me his numbers. Like, all this stuff. She's like, keep me in the loop, and I'm telling her, I'm like, okay, cool, like, I'm gonna text you, I'm gonna let you know, you explain it down to me, so you explain it to me. So anyways, I also found out I have ADHD, which explains a lot. Okay, so I've been saying that though in a lot of these videos. I'm like, I think I have ADHD, but no, I was officially diagnosed with ADHD. So there's that. Anyways, whatever, we go down, he gets they're like, we have the OR ready. Cool. They're rushing me like, get in the MRI room, say goodbye to your son. He has to go under, da da da, kiss, 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 whatever. So I'm like, okay, great, like, you're gonna do fine, you're just gonna lay here. I'm trying to explain to him because they don't know, like, I didn't explain to every single doctor that he has autism because it's just like, ugh, why do I have to keep saying it over and over and over? I feel like I'm labeling my kid now, like, I don't want to say like, oh, he's autistic, and I don't want to be like, oh, he has autism, and I'm like, he's on the spectrum, you know, so he might do things a little different. That's a whole other thing, and I'm gonna get into that later. Excuse me. So I'm rushing in there, whatever, and I'm like, great, you're gonna lay down, they're gonna put you in this machine. I was like, this machine is so cool. He was so excited to see inside of that machine and like see how it worked and everything. We'll get into that after this. So whatever, he lays down. They're telling him like, hey, it's okay, he already had an IV in, he did good with the IV, getting it in, and then they give him the medication. I'm like, you're gonna get a little sleepy, it's okay. When I tell you my son's face, he was so confused. He was like, he sat up and he was like, what? And I'm like, it's okay, just lay back, it's okay. I was like, they're getting all the bad stuff out. And then he just kind of like was like calm. He laid back, and I said, go to sleep. And he was like, and then he was out. They were like, okay, mom, you gotta go. They did whatever they had to do, and then he came out. They were like, no OR at this very moment, but we're still gonna keep him up there, whatever. For I don't know how it works. He's still up there. I don't know. I watched Grey's Anatomy, so I'm guessing he was on the board, a little whiteboard. So he comes out and he's in recovery or whatever, waking up from anesthesia, and he's like, where's the machine? And I was like, what machine? He was like, the MRI machine. I was supposed to see the inside of the MRI machine, and I'm like, I can't get you inside that machine. Grayson, when I tell you that boy had a whole meltdown, I'm like, I can't show you the machine, Grayson. And then the doctor was like, oh my God, I wish I can show him the inside of the machine, but there's someone in there. There's a kid in there right now. And I'm like, she's like, I have a small model of the machine if you want to try to use that. I'm like, please, just give me anything, because he's having a full-blown meltdown, and I just can't. I'm so hyped, like, I'm so amped, like, my adrenaline. I had just had my procedure, and then I had to rush and do his procedure. Thank God they were like right across the street from each other. And I had a tummy tuck. So I'm doing all this with a fresh tummy tuck, him having behaviors, him getting sedated, all this stuff. And then, like, I was just done. I'm like, just bring him upstairs. We don't need to see the model anymore at this point. Like, I'm over it. Long story short, he ends up staying in the hospital for, I think, 5 days, which meant I slept on the hard hospital bed with a tummy tuck for 4 days, because his dad stayed 1 day because I couldn't take the pain anymore. And it was terrible. Yeah, it was horrible. I wouldn't recommend that. Like, I wouldn't put that on my worst enemy, honestly, because that was horrible. He still is on antibiotics. We had to, let me just get into this something real quick. The hospital is not made for kids who are on the spectrum, okay? So Grayson couldn't walk, so he had to do PT. They wanted him to do PT because he was expected to leave and go home. So they gave him a walker, wanted him to walk up some stairs and just walk with his walker so he could learn how to do it. First they brought out crutches, and I'm like, he's not gonna know how to do crutches because the hand-eye coordination and stuff like that is just not it right now. We're still trying to get him to learn how to catch a ball and drink out of a regular cup. Like, it's just, let's not do crutches, that's too much. Walker, cool. And he even had a hard time with the walker. So he was getting frustrated. He couldn't balance himself. He was crying in the middle of the hallways. He was yelling. He was hitting himself. Like, Grayson never really hits himself unless it's like super behavior type stuff. But he was hitting himself, and I'm calming him down. I'm using all the tools that they gave me in ABA, OT, speech, school. I'm using everything I have in the book, like hugs and games and everything you could think of. So after a while, I'm just like, I'm just not gonna put him through this. I know he can do it, but we're not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna stress you guys out. I'm not gonna stress other staff out, the nurses, whatever. We're done. Let's go back to the room. So we go back to, why does my face look like I got punched in my face? What the heck? Is that contour? What the hell? It legit looks like I got punched in the face. Oh, I had a seizure. I swear. I guess so. It hurts a little bit too. I didn't even notice that. That's crazy. So anyways, oh my god, that's so bad. How did I not see that before? Wow. So anyways, I'm doing everything in the book. The nurses and stuff come in, obviously. For him, they had to come in somewhere every 45 minutes, somewhere every hour, because he also was having a hard time breathing. So he had to get a neb treatment. He was on, I think it was like respiratory treatment, what do you call it? Orthopedic thing, physical therapy, what do you call it? Infectious disease. And there was one more, and then regular nurses and stuff like that. They were all coming in back to back. On top of the beeping noise, whatever, on top of the IV thing, there was a couple babies that were screaming next to us. It was a lot. It was a lot for me. I was overstimulated, and we were in a room by ourselves. He was hot, then he was cold, then he was cold, then he was hot because of his fever. Like, it was a lot. So he was having a whole bunch of meltdowns. At the end of it, I decided, this isn't a good space for him. I feel like he's not going to get better here as fast as he could at home because he's so stressed out and he's having all these behaviors, and it's just not a healthy environment for him and for us. It's very freaking inconvenient. So they agreed. They were like, we need to get him out of here. They could physically see him like being super overstimulated. So they were like, we'll do this course through IV for 2 days. We'll see how he does with this medication and through the IV for 2 days and see how he does. Then maybe you guys can go home. So we do it. His levels went up, which means he was getting worse. I'm like, okay. This shit ain't working. So that means we're not going home. They're like, we're going to try one more drug. We're going to do a stronger drug, but it's going to be done orally. So you have to do it at home. But first we want to see if we could give it to him here twice. Because if you can't give it to him here twice, that means you won't be able to give it to him at home. So I'm like, okay, piece of cake. They bring in these damn syringes that are like this long. And they're like, he has to take 31 mLs of this medication. I said, I wouldn't even want to drink that. So I'm like, I don't give him medication unless I taste it. And they're like, okay, Mom, we perfectly understand. So I tasted it. I'm like, it doesn't taste like anything, which is kind of weird because who wants to take something that doesn't taste like anything? So I'm like, we'll probably have to take something with it. We tried chocolate. We tried ginger ale. We tried, what do you call it? Lemonade Capri Sun. We tried a whole bunch of stuff, and the Capri Sun worked. But you guys, it took us 2 hours to give this boy medication. It took the head doctor, I don't even know where the fuck she came from, to come in, and she was like yelling at my son. She wasn't yelling, but she was very firm. You need to take this because it's gonna make you better. And if you don't take this right now, your ankle's not gonna get better. You need to understand that. Great. That's how she's speaking to him. And after 2 hours, y'all, after being in the hospital and having a tummy tuck and stuff like that, I was just drained. I was like, it takes a village. At this point, if you gotta yell at him to take the medication, yell at him so he can take the medication. God damn, because he's not taking it for us. He's not taking it for none of these nurses on this floor. No PCA. He ain't taking it for none of us. Do what you gotta do. So she's stern with him or whatever. He takes the medication. She's like, you know what? We're gonna give it to you with a popsicle. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Mom, could he have a popsicle? Give him a popsicle. If that's what it'll take. Give him a blue popsicle. So she gives him a popsicle. He takes it in 2 seconds. I'm like, me and all the other nurses are just looking at each other like, that made us look so bad. And we're like, everyone's like laughing. We're like, wow. The other nurse was like, I've been doing this for 12 years and that made me look really bad. I was like, no, it made us all look really bad. I'm like, I'm his mom. I can't even get him to take the medication. Like, so we're all cracking up about that. But what else happened? So yeah, it took us 2 hours that time, and then the next time, the following day, it took us 30 minutes. When I tell you we got home and I had to give him his dosage, he took it in 10 minutes, if that. I said, here, Greg, take your medication. I was like, do you want to do it or you want me to do it? He said, I'll do it. He has 3 syringes that are like this big. 2 of them full and then 1 of them half. He goes, takes a sip of his drink, drinks it. He's like, okay, I'm done. Are you giving me my other medication so it doesn't hurt, my ankle doesn't hurt? I was like, your Motrin? He was like, yeah, my Motrin. I was like, what? It was the environment. It just wasn't for him. Anyways, right now he's able to walk. He has PT coming up. We went to infectious control. They said his levels are looking good. He wouldn't say the number, which I think kind of probably not looking too good, because I feel like they were giving us numbers and like ML and then MG and then all this other stuff, and I'm just like, can you give it to us in percentages? Because I can't do that math. I can't break it down. And you're like writing it down on a piece of paper because you're having a hard time figuring it out. So if you're having a hard time figuring it out, you know I can't figure it out. So just, has it gone down 20%, 30%, 10%, 5%? Let me know. He's like, it's up there. I mean, it's coming down. It's coming down. Don't worry about it. He's doing good. If there's anything that goes on, fever, throwing up, you call me. You let me know. Okay? And I'm like, so I can't know in percentages. Okay, Mom. So here's what it is. So they do theirs in MLMG. So the protein in this and the hemoglobin and the white blood cells and the red blood cells and this count here, Quest does it different than we do it here. So you put the, okay, yep, so the numbers are going down. I'm like, I still have no idea what you just said, but it's like, I'm gonna trust you, Doc. If anything happens, I'm coming back. I know you work. And then he started laughing. He was like, remember, I'm retiring today, kid. And I'm like, yeah, you are retiring. I forgot, because he was retiring. It was his last day. But no, that was PT. That was PT. I'm sorry. Oh, my phone's on 5%. So yeah. That was that. He isn't able to go to have my faja on. So whenever I drink, this is so tight. It's like so he had a list that things he wanted to do for summer. It was like, go to the trampoline park, go to amusement park, go swimming, go on an airplane, go to the zoo, like a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of it, he can't do because he can't stand his leg for long. My gosh. He has a loft bed, and right now his mattress is on the floor because he can't like climb up to the loft bed, which is so sad. So I'm like, and he can't go to camp right now because he has to take that medication every I think it's every 8 hours, every 4 hours. I don't know. I'm half dead, but it's like morning, afternoon, night. And if we have to, I don't trust the people at his camp to like give it to him. Like, I don't know. I just feel weird about it. So he can't go to camp and stuff like that. So tomorrow I'm gonna try to bring him to the zoo and see how he likes that. I don't know. He might not like it. I have to get like a little stroller or something that I can push him in. A wheelchair probably. It'll be better. I don't know if they have wheelchairs there, but Probably. But this video is getting super long, so that was just basically Grayson's stay at the hospital and me doing the whole tummy tuck thing. Like, you know, life has just been life, and I don't know about you guys' life, but it's been lifing for us over here, and that's just the last couple weeks. I gotta go back. Then I gotta go forward. Let you guys know everything that's going on. That's just with Grayson. Amaya is Amaya. Okay, she's Amayaing. She's pre-teening right now. Okay? Yeah. Pre-teen. Pre-teen. Girl, pre-teen. Alright, but I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thanks for joining my FaceTime.